Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's show on the Gamut Network. I have such an interesting guest today. I'd really like to introduce Trinity to the show. Hi, Trinity. And
Hi.
what makes her so interesting is that her story is about her best friend having a disability, not her. So, with that, I'd love to introduce Trinity to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Having me. Thank you so much.
Can you tell us a little bit about your story, how this has taken you to an interesting path in life? Let's hear all about you.
Definitely. So I met my best friend Alexus, who has spinal muscular atrophy in kindergarten, and now we're 19 years old. And when I first met her, she was playing hopscotch, and at a young age, it was like, oh my goodness, like that realization of her playing with everybody else, like her disability didn't mean anything to anything to anybody. It made me realize that disability shouldn't be pointed or picked out. It should be normalized. So ever since we started that friendship, I really was able to get myself familiar with how having a disability works, and the financial burdens that it can be. And growing up with her, I really learned all of the struggles, and I felt like we were sisters and we were one. And so I knew that I needed to do more for her and her community, because she taught me so much with her disability and her strength. I she had like a life or death type of battle back in 2014, where she was in a hospital for 6 months, and she was fighting a sickness that was making her immune system work backwards. And I can remember it was my 8th grade year. We were there. I was at CHOP, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, almost every single day, doing everything I can. She was in a coma. She was on a ventilator. It was the worst thing in the world. But, sitting there and realizing that this is an everyday thing for some people, this is people's stories, I realized that there wasn't much motivation and there wasn't much inspiration for people to look up to, that have a disability or that have special needs. There's no type of representation in the entertainment industry. There's no Disney princess like that. There's no Disney prince. They don't have really anything to look up to, and I thought it wasn't fair. And so that's when I decided to create my nonprofit organization, where I write books that feature kids with special needs and disabilities as superheroes. And because I grew up and I understood the financial struggles, a percentage of what we make from the books, we actually donated back to a family in need. So we've been able to donate a whole bunch of different stuff, especially during this virus. We've been able to just, give out money, give out toys, because of course it's hard to stay indoors, with someone with special needs and they don't understand. So we've just been able to give out everything that we can. And like I said, I've learned so much from my best friend having a disability, that I felt as though it was extremely important to represent. Even though I don't have a disability, it's still important to teach other people that you don't have to certainly relate to it in order to fight for it, or to fight, for somebody else. And so that's, just something that I have a very big passion for, and I've always had a passion for.
Oh my God, you are absolute, and 19 years old. I am blown away by you. I want to go back. I want to definitely have time to talk about the nonprofit, but I want to go back to you growing up with your best friend. What was her name again, please?
Alexus.
Alexus. We need to get Alexus on the show.
Yes, I'm trying.
Yeah, good. Thank you. You could go on again with her.
Awesome.
Let's go back, because I think that this is such an important discussion to have, that here you were in kindergarten.
Yes.
6 years old, 5, 6 years old.
Right.
And rather than being scared or not understanding another little girl that is different from you, you embraced her. Yes. And she became your best friend. As you guys grew up together, were there examples that you mentioned that she taught you so much? Give us some stories maybe of how she taught you. Like, did you have sleepovers? Did you do things together like best friends? Because I want to really paint the picture through this interview that you and she just connected as two little girls. who loved
Yes.
each other, who built each other up, and it had nothing to do with her disability. She probably
Right.
gave to you as much as you gave to her. So maybe you
Yes.
could share some stories of growing up and typical things that girls do.
Absolutely. I love talking about her. It's just my favorite thing to do. I could go all day just talking about her. But so can play hopscotch with us. You know, she was weaving in and out with her wheelchair, and we were just having a blast. And then, you know, growing up, I was able to learn, like, because there wasn't so many people around her with the same disability, you know, she couldn't necessarily write like everybody else. And so when she would go to, this is just something really specific that I remember, you know, we were all in class using our pencils and stuff like that, and she couldn't necessarily use a pencil, and she had like an iPad that, you know, she could just kind of use her finger with. And I remember her getting frustrated and, you know, being upset that she couldn't really hold a pencil like the other kids. And I just remember, you know, this is something where I can explain to her that it's okay that you're different. Like, you know, yes, we are able to use a pencil and you're not, but, you know, we don't fault you for it, and we still love you because of everything you are. And, you know, we adapt to your differences. We're, you know, so instead of, you know, nothing at all. And so, you know, like I said, growing up with her, not only was she teaching me, I was teaching her to be okay with her disability. You know, we were teaching each other, you know, so many different things. I remember in the cafeteria, she couldn't necessarily feed herself, and she was embarrassed, and she didn't like that. And so I would go up and I would feed her and be like, you know what, you know, this is what we have to deal with, and it's okay. It's not something that you need to be embarrassed with. You know, we're just going to get through it together. And sleepovers were the best. I loved having sleepovers with her because her family was amazing, and, you know, we just found different things to do. And I think so many people have like either stereotype or different type of connotations that you can't always do the same things, and that's okay. That's why we find alternatives and we find different things, and they're just as fun as, you know, the things that the rest of us are doing. But I remember we would go on YouTube and we would watch Justin Bieber and we would do our makeup. And, you know, she had our hospital bed in her room, and I would have like a little, I don't know, sleeping bag or, you know, whatever bed that they made off to the side. And I would sleep there, or I would even sleep in the hospital bed with her, because they have like their own kind of setup. And I was able to sleep in the bed with her. And, you know, we're just, like you said, two little girls just having fun. And it wasn't even like she really had a disability. I would feed her, I would give her a drink, and still to this day, I still do that. And eventually at some point she went to a different school and I went to a different school. And even then I was still trying to include her, because once you grow up with someone, you just know how they feel about different things. And so there was this one time that we had a school dance, and I had a school dance at my school, and I wanted her to come with me, and I was able to invite her, and she came out. And it was just, you know, her stepping out and being able to love herself and, you know, get all dressed up, and, you know, she was able to enjoy that with me, and how happy that I was able to include her. And we had a blast. And, you know, there was another thing where she was, you know, embarrassed to eat in front of everybody because she couldn't feed herself. But I was like, it's okay, like, embrace who you are. And I know it's not, you know, as easy as it seems, but, you know, this is who you are, and this is how we accept it. It's something that we can do together. And so all throughout my life, she's just, you know, definitely just taught me how to, you know, embrace whatever is given to us. Definitely is what the number one thing that she's given. She just came out of a 7-month hospital stay. She went in September 23rd and just came out a couple weeks ago, like a week before the virus had gotten like really, really bad.
God.
And so she's just definitely the reason why I do what I do. And she's my biggest inspiration. I credit everything that I do to her, because she's just an amazing person and accomplished so much as, you know, 19 years old.
I've done a lot of interviews now, and yours definitely has brought me a little bit to tears. I am absolutely blown away by how this relationship, because it's so important to underscore that you just see her as a best friend.
Absolutely.
And that she loves Justin Bieber as much as you love Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
And that is, I cannot thank you enough for joining us, because that is exactly why I wanted to do this show, because your parents didn't tell you to do this.
Right.
Her parents didn't say reach out to. This just happened
Right.
naturally, and that's
Right.
exactly how our world needs to be. She is a young, vibrant, amazing young woman that you
Yes.
and she share something together, and I'm sure she has given you as much as you have given her.
Yes.
That's exactly how friendships should be, right? No matter
Absolutely.
if you have a disability or not. So
Right.
I cannot thank you enough for sharing all of this with us today. So
Absolutely.
before I really fall apart, let's talk let's talk about your nonprofit.
Yes.
Okay, so she inspired you to start. Tell us the name of it.
From we can't to we can.
From we can't to we can. And
Yes.
tell me about what the nonprofit does. I know that how does it raise money? What are you doing?
So, like I said, I started this nonprofit completely because of her, because I noticed, the non-representation, the underrepresented community, and I know that I can inspire her enough and, motivate her as much as I would like to, because, we all have those role models that we look up to. And I knew that it needed to be somebody or something, that pick me up, that role model, that inspiration that reflects them. And so I just was definitely like, okay, well, what can I do? Because I obviously can't make a Disney princess and have all this. So I figured I could start out with something small, and I decided to, go with superheroes, because people love superheroes, and it's something that, we could definitely look up to. People look up to that. And so I, came up, the name wasn't too hard. It just kind of hit me. From we can't to we can. I wanted to show a transformation. We're changing society's hearts and minds, one superhero at a time. We're defeating stigma. We're working hard for advocacy. We're doing all these things through our superheroes. So the first superhero that I created, she has Down syndrome. She's called Alice the Ace, and she
What's her name
uses
again?
Alice the Ace.
Okay.
And a friend that I had in elementary school, because not only did I have Alexus, there were some other kids that that I was familiar with, that I had fun with back in elementary school, that had different disabilities. And so I had come out with Alice the Ace. She has Down syndrome, but she's still defying the odds. She rescues a kitty out of the tree. But the important part that I make out of these superheroes is that they use their natural senses. It's natural super abilities. She's using her hearing sense. She's using her super sight. It's all things that is attainable. And I want that to be an inspiration. So, a little girl reading that, well, I can actually do that. I can actually use my hearing skill a little bit more. Hear what mom and dad says and try to apply that better. It's all about trying to make it as relatable as possible. And so, I came out with that book, and then I was like, okay, so we have to, give back to the community. That's, the number one thing I want to do, because like I said, I just realized, it's such a, thing where people, you need money for it to, fund what you have to fund at home. And so we started selling the books, and when we were selling the books, we were giving 100% of the profits back to families in need. And we started out with a little table at a community fair, and we were just selling the books. I published through Amazon, and we had a blast. We were able to raise $200 our first sellout. We sold all of our books. I believe we had 15 books on the table. We sold all of them. We raised $200, and we were able to buy off Alexus's wheelchair, because she had a little bit of money left that she needed to pay off. So we paid that off so that she could get a new wheelchair. And so after that, we're just like, great, we can really do this. Like,
yes,
we're, and so ever since then, we sell books online through Amazon. We sell books at, events. We even host our own events. Last year we had a big anniversary event, 1-year anniversary, because I started this back in 2018. And that event was all inclusive. We had bounce houses, we had a DJ, and we had 2 bounce houses, one for people who, like to bounce alone, they have to have that sensitivity, and then one where people could, bounce all together. Just making the event really inclusive. We had therapy dogs all the entire time. We had sensory headphones, and we were raising money. We had a silent auction. So we do everything that we can to raise money. And we were able to help one of the families in South Jersey. We were able to raise $400 for them. And so ever since, we were just, doing whatever we can to raise money for people with special needs and disabilities. And we just had a blast because we've been able to touch so many families, and, the community is in great need. And, we're just trying to do as much as we can because we just love helping out. And like I said, I just love being able to know that I'm helping people like her. And that's what she inspired me to do.
Do you have a book with you that you could show?
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe could you read a page or two from it?
Sure, absolutely. So right now, a very interesting thing that I should have mentioned before, Alexus actually has a brother that has the same disability as her. Mm-hmm. And it's extremely rare to have, the same disability in the same household. They both have spinal muscular atrophy type 2. And he's 9 years old now. And so my second book that I came out with, his name is Zane. I actually came out with Zappy Zane.
Love it.
And then I have our third.
Oliver had that as well, so I'm very familiar with that.
Yes, I asked Zane. I said, did you want to include your feeding tube, or do you not want to have your feeding tube? And he's like, yes. Can you please have my feeding tube? And so I included it all over. So this is definitely an awesome book because he was so excited about having this. So here's Alice the Ace. This is the first one that I have.
Oh my gosh, Alice the Ace! I love it.
And then we just came out with this one called the We Can Squad Saves the Day.
It's
so
amazing.
Thank you. This is based out of 5 kids all around New Jersey. These are based off of real life kids, and I've had a blast working with them, asking different things that they would like in the book. Anything that I could do to make it relatable, I do it. So I'm going to read a page from Zappy Zane because this is just my personal favorite because I love Zane.
Amazing.
And I love Alexus. So let me see. I'm going to read 2 pages. Can you see it?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. I'll wait over here until it's ready, Zane said. Okay, sweetheart, Zane's mom replied. Uh-oh, what's that noise? Zane asked. I think it's time to activate Zappy Zane. So that's just a little snippet.
I love it. And so now these books are available on Amazon?
Yes.
Okay. And how do people get? Is there a website? How do we get our viewers to see these books?
Definitely. So I have a website, wecan'ttowecan.org. And they can actually go on there, and I believe, yes, there's a link on there where they can click on the Amazon link and it'll take them right to it, or they can just search up the names and it'll come up as well on Amazon. Perfect. So there's many different ways to get it.
I have an idea I'd like to float by you. Could we possibly create a superhero that finds their power from dressing, from wearing adapted clothing and feeling really good about what they wear?
Definitely. We could definitely run those ideas. I think I like that a lot, actually.
Okay, let's do it.
Awesome.
Trinity, before we go, I'd like to ask all of, did you want to show the website?
Yeah, that's what I kind of try to squeeze it in a little bit. Oops, sorry. If you can see that.
And don't worry, we'll put it at the bottom of the interview, so don't worry. Before we go, I'd like to ask all of my guests if they had a vision board. I have a vision board. I believe very much in it. I have people that I want to meet in my life that I want to be on their show, or I actually had this show on my vision board, so now it happened.
Awesome.
What would be on your vision board? Who or what would be on your vision board?
That's a really good question. I would say, my vision board, something that I would like to see in the future, I would like to eventually work with Disney so that we could create a Disney princess that has some type of disability. That definitely would be on my vision board.
Love it. And you are totally going to do it. I have no doubt about that.
Thank you.
It was an absolute joy to have you on the show. Keep doing what you're doing. Please, everybody, go to their website, support the books. I think what you're doing is absolutely unbelievable. And
Thank you.
please, let's have the two of you back on the show. And maybe
Definitely.
too. Let's have the three
Yes.
of you back on the
Yes.
show. Let's put a spotlight on this amazing friendship, and let's have people understand how important relationships are to who we are as humans. So thank
Definitely.
you again so much.
Thank
If you would like to be a guest on the Gamut Network, please email us at talent@gamutmanagement.com and tell us a little bit about why you would be a great guest. Thank you so much.
Have a great one. Bye.
Bye.